I'm Starborn. Remember, to be a star, you have to shine your own light, follow your own path, and not be afraid of the darkness, because that's when stars shine brightest. If you've been looking at my website, starborninstitute.org, you'd already know that the title of tonight's show sounds very promising. The title is A Good Growing Season. And that is because we have 80% of the planets sort of in the right elements to promote some sort of new endeavor of yours that could prove out to be very fruitful, very rewarding for your career or for anything that you wanted to do. And that is because there are 4 elements in Western astrology: fire, air, earth, and water. And they are divided into 2 pairs, and these pairs are very compatible within themselves. So water and earth are very compatible, and fire and air are very compatible. And this week, you could certainly experience a good growing season, because there are 4 planets in the earth signs all trining each other, and there are another 4 planets in the water signs also all trining each other. And the reason why some elements are very compatible with each other is because they realize they need each other. And so, when you have enough humility to say, I'm not perfect, I need help, or I need you for something, or I need something that will complete me in one way or another. And so that's what earth and water do. And this week, Mercury, which is now retrograde, and the Sun and Uranus are all in Taurus, a fixed financial sign, but a very sturdy, hard-working earth sign. It's a fixed sign. And so those 3 planets are trining the moon today in Capricorn. Well, Capricorn rules your 10th house of career. And together these 4 planets are also trining the sign of Virgo, which rules your job and your health, and it rules facts and details and accounting, and it rules finishing as well. So if you had some sort of new idea in mind, or if you were simply trying to think about, say, going back to an old job and doing that again because you have plenty of experience, then your efforts could be very fruitful, because there are another 4 planets in the water signs. And remember, earth and water are very compatible because they need each other. Think of the good earth. Oh, well, there's plenty of it on this planet, but it represents the soil, the ground, and that's what you put seeds in, and that's how little flowers and plants and everything else grows. But it doesn't do it by itself. It needs water to nurture it. And that's what water signs do. They're very nurturing. The water signs rule our emotions. And they rule our dreams and our hopes and our wishes and our homes and our families. And they rule justice and survival. Real important things. And so the water signs this week are being accentuated because Venus has now moved into Cancer, and it's joining Mars there. And these 2 planets are trining Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. And those 4 planets are not only trining each other, they are trining the sign of Scorpio as well. Well, since water nurtures things and the good earth grows things, this is why particularly if you find somebody who is sympathetic and nurturing and understands you pretty well, if you're willing to work hard, certainly with their support, you could really enjoy a good growing season right now. I mean, little seeds grow. Little plants grow. So do flowers. So do trees. Lots of things grow. But they do it when they are compatible with something else that they need. And the earth needs the water and needs the nurturing and needs to know that like for earth signs, they need to know that their hard work is for a reason. And that's why they call Taurus the sign of the good provider. They're not exactly just working for themselves, they're working for who they love, because Taurus is ruled by Venus. But water has the same need. Water has a need to be understood. Water has a need to be needed, because its quality is nurturing and understanding, and sort of knowing where people are coming from. And the good earth, that hard worker, they need somebody who understands why they're working so hard, or can sympathize, or can compliment them in some way. And so that is what's happening this week. The reason why is that there are 8 planets, the 4 in Taurus, that are all trining each other, and the other 4 in the water signs, which are also all trining each other, and they are very compatible. And so the same is true for, and so that's 80% of all the planets this week. That's why you're going to have a good growing season. But there are 2 other planets that are left, and one of them is in a fire sign. That is Jupiter, which has now reached the 29th degree of fate in Aries. If you were ever going to get a new beginning off the ground, now is just about your last chance to really get it going. Because that 29th degree of fate means Jupiter is leaving Aries and will go into Taurus. And it won't be back to Aries for a while, like almost 12 years. And so you really, if you want to get a new beginning off the ground, you've got 8 other planets that are helping you with that, the 4 in the earth signs and the 4 in the water signs, which are so compatible. But that Jupiter in Aries, that is being sextiled by the moon today, by Pluto in Aquarius. Aquarius is an air sign, so there's one planet in a fire sign, that's Jupiter in Aries. There's one other planet in an air sign, that's Pluto in Aquarius. But because they're sextiling each other, and a sextile represents opportunity, there can be opportunity among the things that the fire signs and the air signs represent, because they are very compatible. And so, and we have, in our natal chart, we have planets, most of us have planets in all of the elements in one way or another. But fire signs, remember, the compatibility comes because each needs the other and they know it. Okay, so that's why they work well together, because they understand they can't do it all by themselves. And so fire signs, they really like action. They like to be busy. They like to be the boss. They like to get things underway. They like to move. And so there is only one planet in a fire sign, but it is sextile the other planet that's in an air sign, Pluto in Aquarius. Now, what do the air signs do? They are very creative. They are conceptual. They have a million ideas. They don't get them all, realized. But if they were around fire signs for a while, they probably would, because the fire signs love to be in action, but they have to have a reason for it. And they're not going to slow down to think of a reason. They're just ready to go no matter what. So those air signs come along and they say, well, I have this idea and this idea and this idea. Take your pick. Which one would you like to do? And so they supply the ideas or the direction for the fire sign to just take off and do what they do best, which is move forward. And that's why fire and air is compatible, very compatible. But also water and earth are compatible. And this week, so I'm not just talking about sun signs, I'm talking about the basic qualities of the planets that you have in these 4 elements. And if you want to be successful, you could remember how some signs are a little more compatible than others in broad categories. So this week, what we have are the 4 planets in the earth signs, beautifully trining each other, meaning that people who are strong in earth signs are really ready to work hard and face facts. Earth signs are very realistic, and they're ready to roll up their sleeves and do what they have to do to make a living and provide for their loved ones. So you could be involved with that right now. The high cost of living is putting pressure on everybody. And so you could be deciding to go for another job or a higher paying job. Or you may be deciding that you're the one that's got to take care of the home and sort of keep the home fires burning and take care of the family while a partner of yours is going off and working. So that's good teamwork. And each needs the other. And so, somebody's willing to do a lot of work and another person is willing to be understanding about that and supportive. And so that's earth and water. Well, with 8 planets in just these 2 elements, I think that almost everybody could have a good growing season right now. If you wanted to put forward the seed of an idea, or if you wanted to discuss, your work schedules or your job duties in order to harmonize your career duties with your home life, you could do that right now. You could work that out, and then you could go forward. So I hope that you do that. And there could be some challenges along the way. One of them is that there are 4 planets in fixed signs, and they're all squaring each other. And that's because Mercury, which is now retrograde, and the Sun and Uranus in Taurus are squaring that Pluto, which is now also retrograde in Aquarius. So now we have 2 retrograde planets. Slows things down a little bit. But they're squaring each other, and Taurus is a fixed financial sign, and Pluto is a planet of power. So there are people that, some be a little hard to deal with, some of them, because they could be very strident about what they want, and they could perhaps be sort of on a power trip, or they could be really after anybody's money, including yours. So you have to be a little bit careful. And then there's another harsh T-cross in the cardinal signs. And there's a lot of planets there, because Cancer is a cardinal sign. It's a water sign, it's doing fine, but since Venus and Mars are both in Cancer, they are being opposed by that moon in Capricorn now. And all 3 of them are being squared by that Jupiter, which is at the 29th degree of fate in Aries. And so somewhere in your life, you are going to have to employ a lot of patience and diplomacy in order to not get caught up in some sort of attack or fight about something. That won't do you any good anyway. But it could happen because there are some planets that are challenging each other right now. And what I'm suggesting is you stay out of the fray and just sort of try to harmonize with others. And if you can't, then step back. But if you are in the mood this week to tell somebody exactly what you think of them, I wouldn't do that if I were you. It will sort of boomerang back on you. It'll make you look divisive and uncooperative. So I don't think you should do that right now. Even if you have to really bite your tongue and not say what's on your mind, that would be the wiser choice this week. Because after all, if you want to get ahead and have a good growing season, then you've got to just concentrate on getting ahead and getting some nurturing support for that as well. Earth and water. 4 planets in one element, 4 planets in another, and they are compatible elements. That's what you should go for. Okay, what does this mean to all 12 of the sun signs? Aries. Well, Aries, you're not exactly at a crossroads right now. I hope instead you're at a final destination, because Aries, that wonderful Jupiter in your sign is now at the 29th degree of fate, and it's the only planet in a fire sign. And so if you have not gone after your heart's desire, or if you have not exactly heard about a really good opportunity or a great idea in order that you could take action on, then you need to go out and listen a little bit more, Aries, because good ideas are around now, particularly from people that are sort of high up. because Pluto in Aquarius, an air sign which rules ideas, is sextiling Jupiter in your sign. And so you should look around for new opportunities. And I mean, this is the last minute, Aries. You should do that right now. And you have nothing to lose. In other words, okay, maybe you're going to try a couple of different job opportunities. Fine. I mean, you have Jupiter in your sign. You can be pretty confident of yourself or of trying anything new. Well, why don't you? And in fact, don't do just one. Do whatever you feel like right now, Aries, sort of while you've got the wind at your back. And while you may be able to use the influence of people that are a little bit more powerful than you are, or have a lot more authority, and they can sort of help you as well. Either they can give you some bright idea or some opening opportunity, which would be wonderful for you, or else they can steer you in the right direction. They could say, well, you know, the people you need to talk to are these people or those people, or apply it to this organization or that organization. So you still could get help from people with new ideas that can help you move forward. And this is just about a last minute great chance for you to do that, Aries. So no more excuses. Just get going in a new direction. And even if you just are, you know, sort of putting your toe in the water and trying something out or applying for something and you don't have the answers back about it, that's okay. The important thing is for you to take that first step and go out there in a rather fearless way. I really don't think you have anything to lose. If you just didn't do anything, you might miss a golden opportunity and it wouldn't be back for a long time. So you should give it a try. Okay, what does it mean to a Taurus? Taurus. Well, Taurus, certainly this is a wonderful time for you to participate in a good growing season. I mean, your sign rules hard work. It is a very sturdy, fixed earth sign. And so if you were able to work closely with someone else who had the qualities of water signs, in other words, who was sort of nurturing or understanding what your needs are, or willing to share duties with you. Maybe they work in one place, you work in another, but you know, sharing in some way. That would lighten your load and it would give them a sense of purpose. And so this is a time, Taurus, with the moon in Capricorn trining Mercury, which is now retrograde in your sign, and the sun and Uranus, which are both conjuncting each other today. With these four planets in earth signs, and they're all trining Virgo as well, I would say, Taurus, that you really are in a good position to work a little harder now and to go forward in a very organized way and just focus on the goal. And that would be the goal of being a good provider. So you may want to go into business, and I wouldn't waste another day. Just do it, Taurus. Or you may want to change your investments in one way or another to help supply the needs of somebody else in your family that you need to concentrate on a little bit more. But if you had somebody who was there to help you with, say, a relationship or a family matter, then you could go out into the workplace and earn the money to make everybody happy as well. And that would fulfill you, would fulfill the people that we're nurturing as well. And so there's no telling. Once you start and get in there and actually, you know, work harder at your own job or go for a better job or open your own company, whatever you need to do, Taurus, you're in a pretty good spot to enhance your career somehow. The moon's in Capricorn trining your sun, and Capricorn rules careers. And so I would suggest that if you wanted to, you know, share the load a little bit, maybe you could partner with somebody else and you could do certain amount of hard work and maybe In other words, you could go out and really do the sort of heavy lifting, but then there's always people that need to do the bookwork, or there's always people that need to do the follow-up and the scheduling and everything else. Maybe you could find somebody to help you with that, and that would further your career. Capricorn rules large corporations and government agencies. So if you are looking for another job, those are good places to start. And you could do pretty well right now, but I think you have to sort of rethink what you're doing and think of it a little bit more in partnership terms, so that the workload isn't so heavy on you. And at the same time, you might want to try to think about how to make your money work a little harder for you so that you didn't have to work so hard. And that's a real challenge these days. But Taurus is pretty good at money management. You're actually really good at making money, Taurus. And so I wouldn't go on vacation right now. I think you ought to really get to work. Because the stars are favoring you quite a bit. The 4 planets in earth signs are really helping you out, and the 4 planets in water signs are trining each other, and they are forming some sort of support for you. And remember that elements that are compatible are just like people who are compatible. They can realize when they need each other. But they don't need each other for the same thing. They need each other to complement each other and to value what the other person is offering. And so someone who has a little more nurturing nature may really value and respect your hard work and devotion. And that would be a good team member. So think about it. Okay, what does it mean to a Gemini? Well, Gemini, this is a time, Gemini, when you can be sort of looking around in your life and thinking, well, where did everybody go? Because, Gemini, there aren't any planets in your sign for the first time since last summer. Because in August, Mars went into your sign. And then it finally left, and Venus came into your sign. That was pretty great. But now it has moved on as well. And it is in front of your sign. It's in Cancer along with Mars in Cancer. And they're beautifully trining Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. So the benefit that you have right now may not be in having a lot of people around you, Gemini, or at least not the same old familiar people around you. But the benefit to you right now could be the fact that Pluto, which is a planet representing powerful people in upper management, is in Aquarius and is trining your sun. And it is a planet of powerful truth. And what that means is, even if there aren't a lot of activities or a lot of people in your life right now, in other words, if this is a quiet time for you, Gemini, I'm sure that you're treasuring that because you've probably been pretty busy in the last year. But if this is a quiet time, then you need to look in your heart and ask yourself what it is that you truly enjoy and what will give you a sense of fulfillment. And remember that yours is an air sign. And air signs are always full of good ideas and good suggestions. And they're very flexible and adaptable, and they're wonderful at meeting the public. And so you may be going through a little bit of a quiet time right now, Gemini, for one reason or another. But I don't think it's really going to stay that way. And I think that you'd get bored with that after a while. You know, your sign rules curiosity, but did you know that it also rules boredom? Geminis can't stand to be bored. And they're easily bored because they have very quick minds. They're always thinking. Your sign rules duality. You can be thinking of one thing and doing it something else. That's fine with you. So this is a time when you need to ask yourself what really makes you happy. And it probably is going to, and that answer will involve your working with the public in one way or another, even if you're just a volunteer. That That will get you out in the public eye. And that's when Geminis shine. So just think about that in your quiet moments right now, Gemini, and ask yourself, what would make you happy going forward? And I hope that your answer has something to do with being around other people, which is how you shine. Good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Cancer? Cancer. Well, remember I mentioned that earth and water are very compatible because each needs the other. Water needs to be needed, and earth needs the good water in order to be fruitful and have things grow. And so they don't work the same way, but they really appreciate what each other does because water needs to have a sense of direction and a need to be needed, and it deals with our feelings. And your sign in particular rules emotions, Cancer. And so you have a lot of emotions. You know, all the water signs can get their feelings hurt pretty easily. Scorpio doesn't say anything about it, and Pisces it sort of deflects it and hides it a little bit, and Cancers get a little bit moody. You know, they could withdraw, or they can just, you know, give somebody the cold shoulder if their feelings are hurt. But Cancer, with Venus and Mars in your sign, it means you have a tremendous amount of energy, more than you're comfortable with. Cancers like to just sort of go along with things. They like being home, and they like doing things at home. And they're very loving and protective at home. But Mars is in your sign. That means you should get out of the house, Cancer. You should be off and doing some things. Maybe you can be improving the outside of your home. But Venus is there as well, and that can be helping you focus on who you love. You know, Venus is the planet of love and of partnership. And so if you were looking around for somebody who had sort of a hard-working nature, or wanted to be of service to others, or was head of a large organization and had a lot of responsibility, and was a hard worker, that could be all right. All of the planets in Taurus, 3 of them, the retrograde Mercury, the Sun, and Uranus, are all sextiling your Sun. Planets in Taurus always support the sign of Cancer. And they also support the sign of Pisces a lot because they're sextiling those signs. And the water signs are in Cancer and Pisces. So I think that you're not just going to be able to putter around home for too much longer, Cancer. I think you're going to be having to be out somewhere, being involved in money matters in one way or another. You may even decide, if you're already retired, to go back to work. And the reason why is not because you want to exactly leave home, but because, first of all, the moon is in Capricorn, and Capricorn rules large corporations and government agencies, and it rules pensions and retirements. And it may, even if you are retired, you may decide the high cost of living right now, ooh, that's getting to everybody. And you may decide that it's time to sort of add to, you know, to your budget a little bit. And that would help pay down bills. That would help you save more money and eventually be able to invest in things. So Cancer, I think that you're going to have to be working a little bit harder now that Mars is in your sign, but you can be doing it with love in your heart because Venus is in your sign as well. So that's good. And if you're around other people that are, you know, really dedicated and hardworking, with your nurturing nature, you would have a very good effect on them, you know. Sometimes when people work so hard that they're keeping their nose to the grindstone and they never look up and notice what else is going on in the world, somebody that has a soft, gentle nature, like the water signs, could come along and remind them that they're human. And it's good to have both. That's what makes this a good growing season right now, is that it's going to take more than hard work to have something successful occur. It's going to take understanding and love and support. That's the water signs and the earth signs working together very well. So good luck, Cancer. Now that Venus has come into your sign, I think you're going to sort of, you're going to feel better about things. Not just about family things, but you might feel better about your home, or you might be thinking about a new home, or some sort of a move. And I think that that could work out better for you now. So good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Leo? Well, Leo, this is a time, Leo, with only one planet in a fire sign, but it's Jupiter in Aries at the fateful 29th degree, trining your sun. It simply means, Leo, that you too have got sort of a last chance right now to go forward and, do something. There's a difference between just talking about something and thinking about it and then getting out and, applying a little elbow grease and working pretty hard on it. And so this is a time, if you're going to make a new beginning, this is about the 0 hour for it, Leo. You really do need to just head toward a new beginning and do your best. Put your best foot forward, Leo. I mean, Jupiter's trining your sun. That's good. It's been trining your sun for a while. But now that it's at the 29th degree of fate, you have got to go in a new direction. It may not be a direction that you're going to stay in forever, but it is certainly a direction you need to step forward and sort of step into. So it could be a new role that you could be assuming now. It might be a new role that is somewhat of a repeat of something you've already done or you know how to do. You could just be doing it for a new organization, or you could be doing it in a new way according to whatever the demands of the job was. Or you could be starting your own company, and of course that would be new, but I think that you would love it. I do think that there is a need for you to watch your money a lot more closely, because Mercury is retrograde in Taurus right now, which means a financial matter, it is not proving to be as lucrative as you thought it would be, or else the prices are just too high, but something's not working out financially the way you'd hoped it would. And then the Sun and Uranus in Taurus are exactly conjuncting today and squaring your Sun. So there's going to be a change in the money. And I think it may be in investments. If you have any investments, Leo, you should be looking them over real carefully right now. I hope they are not speculative or volatile, because there can be a very sudden change in the value of investments right now. This could be for anybody, but certainly for somebody whose sun sign is squaring or opposing the sign of Taurus, which is where the Sun, and the Sun is your own ruler, Leo, and Jupiter, and Uranus are exactly conjuncting. So, there could be some sort of what you might call a shock wave going on that you are associated with in one way or another, Leo, and it's either in the world or it's in your life somewhere. But it's tied to money in one way or another. And that shock wave is something that you can absorb if you want, but fire signs like action. If I were you, I would just get into action and try something else, try something new, because Jupiter is still trining your Sun. So I would give something new a real last-ditch effort right now, Leo. It almost doesn't matter what it is as long as you are going forward. So good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Virgo? Well, Virgo, this is a time, Virgo, when you benefit greatly from the 4 planets in the earth signs, because they're all trining your Sun. So Mercury, your own ruler, which is now retrograde, which means something financial has to be redone now. And it could have to do with an investment. But Mercury in Taurus is trining your Sun, and the Sun and Uranus in Taurus are also trining your Sun, and they are conjuncting today. And then the Moon today in Capricorn is trining your Sun. Okay, so the lights, the Sun and the Moon, are both trining your Sun sign, and so is your ruler. But because it's retrograde, I think that there is a financial matter that, it could be a matter, Virgo, that did not work out before. And so you might have thought to yourself, oh, well, I lost that round, or I guess that's not going to happen. And you know, that offer could come back. Maybe it would be a better offer. And it could do you a lot of good now. And, you know, I would not give up on something, even if someone had not replied to a good suggestion of yours. I would sort of give them another chance, or drop them another little hint that you are still interested in some sort of investment or financial matter that they and you are connected with, and see if it can't be revised in some way that could be very beneficial to you. And by the way, I want to mention to everyone that I'm very sorry for the sounds of construction that we can hear it from time to time on the show. Nothing I can do about it. The windows are all closed. There's blankets over them, you know. But they're building a new park across the street, and it's going to take a year. So every once in a while, if you think you hear a truck or some other thing going on, that's right, you are. But we're still going to do the show. So just turn up your volume a little bit if you have to. And anyway, thank you for your patience, Virgo. You're under wonderful aspects. The 4 planets that are in Earth signs are all trining your sun. And the 2 in Cancer, Venus and Mars, are sextiling your sun. And now, the only thing you need to worry about is that Neptune and Saturn in Pisces are opposing your sun. So there can be some secret hope and wish or dream that is delayed. And it is, I don't think there's too much you can do about it at the moment. Simply because I think, Virgo, there's something else in your life that perhaps has just come up. And it is requiring your immediate attention. And so you have to stop and concentrate on that first before you do anything else. But there should be some good financial news, or sort of a second chance at some sort of financial deal that you wanted before that you hadn't gotten much response on, but I think it might turn out to be favorable after all. Okay, what does it mean to a Libra? Libra. Well, Libra, remember at the start of the show I said we all have got to be on our best behavior, and we have to be extremely diplomatic because there is a harsh T-cross among the cardinal signs, and yours is a cardinal sign. And there isn't any planet in your sign, Libra, and it is well backed up. Your ruler, Venus, oh no, I'm sorry. It's well backed up by Pluto in Aquarius, trining your sun. So you do have some pretty influential help around somewhere, Libra. But at the same time, you really have to sort of keep a lid on your emotions right now, because Mars and your own ruler, Venus, are now in Cancer, and they are squaring your sun. Jupiter in Aries has been opposing your sun, and now it's at the fateful 29th degree. So I think somebody else in your life, Libra, is going to sort of take off and start something new. Or it can be that they want to start something new with you, and you know, it still would involve them going in a different direction, but you still could be, you know, you could be the right partner for that, for some new endeavor. But it would be somebody else that was sort of getting it underway at first. And then the moon in Capricorn is squaring your sun too. So you could be one of these people, Libra, that is deciding, even if you're retired, to go back to work. Or to do something that could put a little less pressure on your budget. So you could be changing your investments, you could be lowering your costs on things, but anything to sort of lighten your financial load right now would be a good idea, Libra. And then you could be running up against people who do not have very good manners. And they may be deciding that if you would just stand still, they would love to argue with you. Don't let them do it, Libra. I mean, when you see trouble headed your way, get out of there. Because there's 4 planets in cardinal signs all squaring and opposing your sun sign right now. And I would say, you know, this is a free country. You can change the conversation, or you can just turn your back, walk away, and go do something that will make you happy, Libra. So you keep your own happiness in mind, but do not lose your temper with anybody, because it will make you look bad. And it won't put you in a favorable light. So either just zip the lip and keep a smile on your face, even if it kills you, or else just turn your back and go in a new direction. Good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Scorpio? Scorpio. This is a time, Scorpio, when yes, I think that, you know, this is a good growing season for you. And that's because there are 4 planets in the water signs, and they're all trining your sun. And that's because Venus has now gone into Cancer along with Mars there, and they're trining your sun. So a real estate matter could work out a little bit better for you now. Or a move could even be a little bit more palatable to you and work out pretty well. I mean, it could have a bright prospect. And then Saturn and Neptune in Pisces are trining your sun, and Neptune rules dreams. So there is still this possibility that a dream can come true for you. But remember, your sign rules justice and survival. And it does rule money management because it's a fixed financial sign. I think you're going to be very involved in some sort of financial matter that involves a close examination of the terms of something. So if anybody's talking to you about money in any way, Scorpio, write it down. Review everything. And if somebody's offering you some sort of contract, get it in writing and have somebody else look at it before you agree to sign it. Just be really careful about money right now, because the 3 planets in Taurus, including the Sun and Uranus, which are exactly conjuncting each other in Taurus today, which would indicate a very sudden change in the money right now, could even be today. And those planets are opposing your sun sign. And so, and Pluto, your own ruler in Aquarius, is squaring your sun sign. That's why you really need to be careful about financial matters. But on the other hand, it can be a good growing season, because you could come in contact, Scorpio, with somebody who is a really good hard worker, or has a lot of experience, or is very careful with the details. You know, has earth sign qualities. They may not be an earth sign, but they have those reliable, hardworking qualities, because there are the 4 planets in the earth signs now, and they're very compatible with the 4 planets in the water signs. And so you may come in contact with somebody who's a very hard worker. And the one reason that they may decide that they want to work with you, Scorpio, is because they can sense that you have an underlying ability to understand them. And so that's the nurturing side of a water sign. And Scorpios are particularly quiet about what they pick up. Scorpio rules psychology. So they're always studying where people are coming from, or what other people's needs are, or what the real truth is about somebody, regardless of what they say. So, you know, Pluto is a planet that looks deeply into people. And so that's what Scorpios do. And you could find somebody who's a real good hard worker, that for one reason or another, very quietly, they may understand that you understand them. And that's all they need, is a little bit of emotional backup, so that they can go off and really work hard. So that's that earth and water getting along just beautifully, because they know they need each other. Water signs need to be needed. Water has to have a direction, you know. So there could be someone coming along that would value you for your nurturing, or your understanding of them. And they know how to do their job. They just want to know that you're there to back them up. So good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Sagittarian? Well, Sagittarius. This is a time, Sagittarius, when there's only one planet in a fire sign. Oh, but it's your ruler, Sagittarius. It's Jupiter. And it's at the 29th degree of fate in Aries. Pardon the sirens, too. And because it's at the 29th degree of fate in Aries, and it is your ruler, Sagittarius, and it's the only planet in a fire sign, you have really got to get going, Sagittarius. Now, I have a feeling that since Sagittarius is an intellectual sign and Sagittarians are thinkers, I have a feeling that you have been thinking about something, a new beginning, for a long time. That it's not a whim. It's something that you've been really seriously considering. It could be also something that you have always wanted to do, but as other times in your life, life sort of got in the way and you weren't able to do it. But what do you got to lose now, Sagittarius? Nothing, I don't think. You could have enough room in your life to start something new that you'd always been wanting to do. And if it involves working with others, because remember, compatible signs know they need each other. And yours is a fire sign, very compatible with air signs. Why? Because air signs have good ideas. And fire signs like to, and need good ideas so they can go forward and have a purpose in their life. And so if you wanted to get around people that were sort of thinkers or people who were very creative right now, you would pick up some sort of great idea and you'd know what to do with it, Sagittarius, and there you would go. You'd be off and running. And sort of at the last minute. So whatever you have been thinking of or whoever you thought that you needed to contact, do it now, Sagittarius. Now, the thing you do have to lose is the opportunity. The opportunity to really do your heart's desire. That's not going to stay around. Jupiter's at the 29th degree. It won't be in another fire sign for 4 more years. So it won't be trining your sun for 4 more years. That's why you got to get going now, Sagittarius. And just go talk to people, make appointments. All they can do is say no. Well, then you can go back again until they say yes. Or else you can just meet very creative people right now. And one of them could just land on your doorstep right now and they would be just the right person. You could sort of walk into something that was a pretty good fit for you, Sagittarius, if you just sort of got out there and made yourself available. So good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Capricorn? Well, Capricorn, this is a time with the moon in your sign today, trining Mercury, which is retrograde in Taurus, and the sun and Uranus, which are exactly conjuncting each other today. And then they're all trining the sign of Virgo as well. This is certainly a time when you can have a good growing season, Capricorn. And by that I mean you can improve your pension or retirement accounts in one way or another, or you can improve your investment accounts, or you can be thinking of making a new investment. And you may also be thinking of how to move money around a little bit so that it can be earning more for you. That would work out really well for you too, Capricorn, because there are 4 planets in Earth signs. And the lights, the sun is trining the moon in your sign. So the lights are with you. And that's why I think, Capricorn, that this is an ideal time for you to sort of get out there and decide, even if it's just a hobby of mine, I think I'm going to get to work on that a little harder. Or you could say, well, the high cost of living is affecting my budget. I better try to get another job or a part-time job. I mean, it doesn't have to be forever, but Capricorns are security prone. You would be wise to do that. It's not because you're going broke, Capricorn. It's because we do not know what sudden fluctuation in the value of our investments is going to occur. But with the sun exactly conjuncting Uranus, the planet of sudden surprising change, it could happen right now. And, you know, the steadiest thing that most people can do is not speculate at all, but just roll up their sleeves and work harder, you know, and pay down your bills. Oh, that's called common sense. You'd be surprised how many people don't think like that. But when we have high debt, high inflation, and high interest rates, everybody's got to start thinking like that if we're going to survive any kind of a credit crunch or any kind of financial collapse. Because as long as we're willing to work hard, even if it's just at a little job, that's money coming in. That puts food on the table. That's a good idea right now for everybody. Okay, what does it mean to an Aquarian? Well, Aquarius, this is a time, Aquarius, when sure, you can be feeling like you want to be a little bit more powerful in the future. Well, your sign rules the future, and Pluto is in your sign, and it's the planet of power, which is good. But it's also it's the only planet in an air sign, and it's part of a harsh square among fixed signs. So, Aquarius, the reason that you are successful, even at things that are so brand new that nobody else even knows what you're doing, because your sign rules invention, or music, your sign rules music, and you know, it's a mystery where music comes from, but it's always beautiful when we hear it. So whatever you're wanting to do that is creative and that could make you even more powerful, fine. But at the same time, there can be some sort of shocking surprise coming to you regarding a financial matter. It could have to do with your investments. And so that's because the 3 planets in Taurus are squaring your sun. And your sign is a fixed sign, and so is Taurus. And so we all have to watch out for little earthquakes or shocks to our bank accounts right now. And you would be very lucky if there wasn't a shock to your bank account. But it might be something bigger. It might be a country that's having a lot of problems with a big debt. Or it might be some investment house or even a pension fund whose assets are dropping. Well, that's not good news. So I think you need to watch out for sudden changes in the money. And so, Aquarius, if I were you, I would consider starting something new. Because remember, the air and the fire signs get along really well. And yours is an air sign with 1 planet in it. And Jupiter is in a fire sign, Aries, and it is sextiling your sun, and it's at the 29th degree of fate. There may be a new beginning right at the last minute that does you a world of good, Aquarius. And no matter what it takes, you should do it. Because we don't know financially, we don't know what's going to happen from one day to the next now. And so if you were starting something new that would help stabilize your budget or your future, you'd be very foolish to turn it down. You should take it no matter what. So good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Pisces? Pisces. Pisces, this is a time when you, just like every other water sign, needs to be needed. That's what water signs like. They're so nurturing. And remember, all the water signs rule healing, and they rule dreams, particularly your sign, Pisces, because Neptune, your own ruler, is in your sign. It's getting a little bit close to the end of the sign, but it's a real slow mover. It's at 27 degrees in your sign now. And so Saturn is also in your sign in earlier degrees. It means that there can be a serious change somewhere in your life. And what it would involve is some sort of commitment. And it might be a commitment to an old dream that you had. What if you're a person that wanted to go right into the work arena and have a career, but you'd always long to, say, go to college and get a degree, even in a different field or in the field you're in, but just something that would validate what you had learned in the workplace. That would be pretty easy for you to do right now, Pisces, mainly because life would have taught you a lot that you can apply toward, say, a better education right now. And that may be a good place for you to be in a changing environment. And if you're wanting to have everything the same old way in your family life or in your home, or having a dream come true, or seeing that justice was done, that would be nice if the whole world was just run by water signs right now. But actually, water signs need the steadiness and the hard work and the dedication of earth signs in order to have a direction to go in. And so there has to be some sort of a commitment that is necessary now. Saturn is the planet of commitment. And it's also the planet of delay. And Neptune is the planet of dreams. And they're all being backed up right now from Venus and Mars in Cancer. And so if you were, say, a person who had been sort of off traveling or living elsewhere, you may want to come home and settle a little bit more, or change things in your home to make them a little more comfortable. That would be good. You may also want to add somebody new to your family life or your home life, and that would be very good for you. One thing that a Pisces, because it's a double-bodied sign, Pisces doesn't like being alone too much. Solitude is ruled by Virgo, the sign that opposes Pisces. Pisces people like to mix and mingle. You know, it's Virgo that likes their solitude. And the sign of the Bachelor is Virgo. But the sign of nurturing and being around others, being interested sort of in sympathetic causes, that's a Pisces. And so, Pisces, this is a time when I think that you need to, on your way to making a wonderful secret dream of yours come true, which is entirely possible, sometime while Saturn is in your sign for the next couple of years, that's going to happen. You're going to be able to do that, Pisces. And the reason why is you've waited either too long or you've waited long enough, and it's time to make the dream come true. And also it would take a while. So the sooner you get started on that, the better. But at the same time, there could be some element of change going on somewhere in your life. And I think what it represents, Pisces, is that time marches on. And Pisces aren't too concerned with that. That's why Pisces are dreamers a little bit. And they have wonderful imaginations. They're very creative. But as time marches on, we all get older. And sooner or later, there can't be any more drifting. Because water signs need a sense of direction. They really do need somebody around that's working pretty hard. And you know, they can give nurturing support to somebody that isn't exactly like them, but is really a hard worker. But through their nurturing support, that's what drives them. That's what keeps them going. So it's your big heart, Pisces, that somebody needs real badly right now. So you open up your heart a little bit more. That's all I'm saying. Just open up your heart, no matter what's coming at you. Don't close up. We all need nurturing. The water signs are nurturing, but they need it as well. And that's what you might need right about now, Pisces. A little gentle understanding. And getting more serious about making a real dream come true that you've always had. So I wish you the best of luck. Okay, thanks so much. Remember, you can see the show every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. I'd be happy to send it to you if you subscribe to my Karen Campbell YouTube channel. And if you'd like to read the blog on my website, starborninstitute.org, it would explain the theme of the show a little bit better, and you might enjoy that too. So thanks a lot, and I'll see you next week. Bye.